Hi, this is Trey Passer. I wanted to make a video about a TV show. TV show is Prodigal Son. This show is a show that comes on Fox. It used to come on Mondays at 9 o'clock for season 1. Now season 2, which debuted yesterday, actually, came on Tuesday, which was yesterday, at 9 o'clock. So I guess they moved it over one day to Tuesday. But anyway, this show is about a character named Malcolm Bright. He's a criminal psychologist who he works with the NYPD and helps them solve basically serial murders. And the way that Malcolm is unique, the character is unique, is because he's the son of a serial killer. He's the son of a character named the Surgeon, played by Michael Sheen, who plays Dr. Martin Whitley. Okay, and Thomas Paine plays Malcolm Bright, the son of Jessica Whitley, played by Bellamy Young, who plays his mother, and Michael Sheen, Dr. Martin Whitley. And it's sort of like Silence on the Lamb in a way that, because the character of the Surgeon, aka Dr. Martin Whitley, Michael Sheen, is locked up, and often Malcolm has to go to his father to get kind of insight into the latest killer that he's looking for, and that provides a slight interaction between father and son. Now, the first season was mostly about, it was about the serial murders and stuff that cases he was solving. But at the same time, we see that because they show in flashbacks that Malcolm's Bright character, played by Thomas Paine, he had lots of flashbacks because he was the one that actually turned his father in, and he's been haunted by the murders ever since, and he literally has to chain himself up to go to sleep. Because he has night terrors about about the childhood and about his childhood with his father and stuff, and so he's trying to work through that, and at the same time he's helping the NYPD because there's a sergeant played by Luke Diamond Phillips named Gil Aurora. He was the first cop on the scene that kind of tucked young Malcolm under his wing, and they've kind of had a sort of semi-father-son kind of relationship because he's been always looking out for Malcolm and stuff. So you get that relationship, which I think is really pretty good. And Luke Diamond Phillips and Thomas Paine, they have good, it's believable chemistry that you feel the empathy that Luke Diamond Phillips' character Gil Aurora has for Malcolm, and he knows that that it took all this and that's still affecting him, what happened with his father being a serial killer, and so he's worried at the same time. He likes that Malcolm helps him with the cases, but at the same time he's kind of worry about how it affects Malcolm, because like I said, he cares about him. Okay, so which is a good thing to have. So while he has the serial killer father that's locked up, that he has to visit occasionally, he hates that he has to go visit his father, but he does what he has to do to go see him. And then he has this Gil Aurora character played by Lou Diamond Phillips, who's sort of like stepped into that father role for him, and that's a good thing that I'm glad that they show that on the show. And also rounding out the cast is Halston Sage. She plays Ansley Whitley. She's the sister of Malcolm and daughter, of course, of Jessica Whitley and Dr. Martin Whitley. Okay, she's like a reporter, and she's like the younger sister of Malcolm. And at first, when you see their family is they come from a rich family. But you can tell that she's trying to make it as a reporter, like an investigative reporter and stuff, and she seems to have everything all together. And of course she worries about her big brother, and him being from what their father obviously did and stuff. So she worries about him, and he's constantly looking out for her. And also, like I said, I love the relationship between the mother, Jessica Whitley, played by Bellamy Young, and Thomas Paine's character, Malcolm Bright. Now, in real life, I think Bellamy Young is only maybe like 1 or 2 years older than Thomas Paine, who plays Malcolm Bright, but it works. I know that's weird to say that because they're close in age, but the way Bellamy Young plays the character of Jessica Whitley, she's a rich society woman that she's sort of a snob in a way, but you can tell that she loves her son, and she feels this guilt because she didn't realize that her husband obviously was a serial killer. obviously, and she worries about Malcolm because he's investigating these murders and stuff, and she worries about the effect that her father, and that Malcolm, every time he has to go see his father, she worries about him, and I love their relationship. Again, that's good writing and good acting by Malcolm Bright and by Thomas Paine and Bellamy Young. They're believable, and you can tell, like I said, her character is sort of a snob, a rich snob, but you can tell that she loves her son, she loves her kids, period. But even though she's this, she's a rich snob. Let's put it that way. But you can tell that the one thing that you can't ever accuse her of not loving her kids. She loves her kids almost obsessively. Okay, and I think part of it is guilt because she didn't know that the father was actually uh, you know being a serial killer. Her husband was a serial killer. She didn't know that, and she worries about the effect that has on Malcolm, and that he does. He's a criminal psychologist who basically investigates murder, so he's basically still getting constant reminders of his father. And she would, in her perfect world, he would move on completely and away from that. But she also knows that in a way that's what he did. That's what he does, and this is his way, I think, in his mind of paying back the world from the evil that his father did, being a criminal psychologist and catching serial killers. I think that's his way of paying society back from what his father was, the evil that his father was. Okay, and also you have a couple other side characters in this. You have a character named Danny Powell, played by Aurora Panura. I think what's in it? Aurora Panura. She's like the daughter of the guy that was on Lost and was always looking for his son Walt. I forgot the character's name, but Harold Panura. Yeah, she's his daughter. She played Danny Powell. She's a detective that works with Gail Aurora, Lieutenant Phillips. She's one of the cops that works with them. Catch on one of the detectives. And also you have Frank Hartz, who plays JT Tarmel. Now these two characters, like I said, Danny, she's kind of wary of Malcolm. Okay, and at the same time, you can tell she has sort of empathy for him, that of what he's been through. Because obviously they know what that he's the son of the surgeon and stuff. But you can tell in several episodes across the first season that even though she's worried of him at first, she has kind of empathy for him. But JT Tarnell, played by Frank Hartz, he thinks Malcolm is a freak. He literally thinks Malcolm is a freak, and that there's a screw loose in his head, and if it was up to him, he would not work with him at all. But like I said, Gil, played by Lieutenant Phillips, he's in charge of the unit, and he trusts Malcolm, and so he sticks his neck out for him a lot of the times and vouches for him. Okay, and the team, so they have this that's the team. And also, I'm sorry, there's one other character played by Kiko Agina. She plays I guess pathologist, right? Yeah, the one the coroner, I guess. I'm sorry. She plays Dr. Adirisa Tanaka. Adirisa Tanaka. She's sort of eccentric, and you can tell that she has a kind of a crush on Malcolm. You can tell because when they're investigating the cases, and she shows up, and she's so anxious to tell him exactly what the case, and they kind of play this game. He likes engaging with her, and they kind of, you see the banter between them. They kind of work out exactly what how the murder was committed and all that stuff, and you can tell, like I said, she's a little eccentric, but you can tell, like I said, she has a little crush on Malcolm, which I think is nice and cute. And I think Malcolm knows that, and he often engages with her and stuff, and you can tell, they're like intellectually they're so compatible with the brains. I know a lot of people are some people are shipping like Danny with him, okay, because there was a couple of good emotional moments between them, but also some people ship him with the coroners because she's kooky and she seems to be the only one that generally gets him. Okay, me, I'm kind of neutral in it. Okay, I think he does have chemistry with both of them. Okay, and so I'm not, either way, see whichever way they go with it. But I don't think they're gonna hook him up with the coroner because she's kind of kooky in a way, and I don't know if they'll hook him up with Danny. I don't think that's a given because he's the character. Malcolm has had a relationship with other women that they brought on the show, and put it that way without spoiling it. So but I don't think. But you can tell there's a thing there between him and Danny. So we'll see how that goes in season 2. But anyway, again, to me, what makes me love this show is that, again, Malcolm, played by Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine, the first time I saw him was on The Walking Dead. He played the character, of Jesus. Okay, so that's why I know he had, long hair. His hair is shorter, obviously, but shorter. But he played the character of Jesus on The Walking Dead. Okay, so that's why I knew him from. And originally, he wasn't cast as Malcolm Bright. The actor who played Finn Jones, who played Iron Fist on Netflix series, he was cast as Malcolm on this. But for some, I don't know the exact reason why they recast it. Because I think Finn Jones, he looks physically like Michael Shane more. If you put the pictures side by side, they both have the kind of curly hair, him and Michael Payne. So I guess that's one of the reasons he was originally cast. But maybe when they were shooting the pilot, they just thought, they didn't have good chemistry. But I definitely think Thomas Paine and Michael Sheen, who plays the father and son thing, they do have good father-son chemistry. And again, because Malcolm is constantly trying to not get too close to his father because he fears that, he don't want to be a killer like his father. And Michael Sheen plays the character always enthusiastic to see his son. Every time his son comes to visit him, or every time his son calls him to get insight into a killer, he's always happy to see him. And he also, especially what he did with the first season, he purposely always tried to, he knew that Malcolm was, having flashbacks to his childhood, and he would always try to tell Malcolm to leave it alone and to not dwell on the past. And he kind of wanted to start the relationship over again, which is kind of weird in a way. And he like I said, he was just always happy to see him, which is, again, I know that's very weird to see, but that's what it was. And again, this show, season 1, and it's sort of a cliffhanger, and I can tell by watching episode 1, which I watched of season 2, that the events of the finale of season 1 is going to play out throughout this season 2, and I'm here for it. Okay, I think we're going to get more interaction with the sister character, again played by Halston Sage Ansley Whitley. Her character was here and there. She was in some important episodes, but not every episode. But based on what happened in the season finale of season 1, I think we're going to see her character more in this season, and it's going to play more into her relationship with the father, which they kind of briefly touched on in season 1. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. And also, just to let you know, the mother, Jessica Whitley, and played by Melanie Young, and Gil Aurora, played by Lou Diamond Phillips. You can tell they had they kind of went there. Okay, let's put it that way. And I think we're going to see more of that in season 2 as well. Okay, and I'm definitely anxious to see how the character of Dr. Martin Whitley, aka the surgeon, Michael Sheen, when his character finds out what his reaction is going to be, because again, Michael Sheen just plays a character with such enthusiasm, always happy to see his son, and always happy to collaborate with his son on a case, and which is weird. And even though, like I said, Malcolm tries to keep him at, kind of at arm's length, literally, but he also finds himself always drawn in, to see his father, to help or insight into a killer. Okay, and that to me makes the show, and I'm just entertained constantly by the show, and it's one of my favorite shows that's going on today, and I'm glad it's back, and hope it stays on air for another 5 or 6 years. I just really enjoy this show a lot, Prodigal Son. Okay, and that's why I wanted to make the video, just to let people know and to give my insight into it, and definitely recommend you check it out, and check out season 1 first, and then come back and watch season 2, which just started yesterday, so it was only 1 episode, so you can binge watch the whole season 1, and I think it's on Netflix anyway, so you can binge watch it and then watch season 1, episode 1, which came yesterday, and then you'll be caught up. Okay, but I definitely recommend it. Okay, and it's totally worth checking out. I love it. Okay, again, like I said, this show is a combination of Silence of the Lambs, and I'm trying to think what other son. Yeah, it's sort of like Silence of the Lambs, only if Jodie Foster's character was Hannibal Lecter's daughter. Okay, in this case, son. Okay. Anyway, let me know what you think. If you've seen Prodigal Son, what do you think of it? Feel free to leave comments down below. I have links to my social media in the description box, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I also have a link to my other channel called Views and Opinions. Please check that out as well. Also have a link to my Patreon channel, which I just debuted about a week ago. So if you want to become a patron and support my patron, I would greatly appreciate it. Link is in the description box. Okay, if you want to check it out and support me, I would greatly appreciate any help you could provide. Okay, so thank you. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.